Hi, I'm Katie Frederick, and I'm going to go quickly over my simple game. So, my game was to roll dice or die. It's a play on word with dice because that's the only thing you need to play, but it's a tournament dice game. So, to start, the game is a very simple tournament style dice game, like I said, and the winner is based on whoever rolls the highest sum with dice wins. So, a little bit more in depth with the rules, how to play. Players can decide before any play if they choose to do a best two out of three or just like best one out of one game, with competitor. But players will match up in groups of two by who is sitting next to one another in a circle. And then for the first round, the groups of two will each play each other by rolling. Each person will play by rolling the dice, and then whoever has the larger sum wins that round. And so the winners will go and meet up and match up with the other winners, and it kind of continues like that, if that makes sense. And so it kind of goes and goes and goes until there's only one winner left, and that's the person who has consecutively rolled the highest sum of dice over other people. And then if there's an odd person in the group, like let's say there's two groups of two, and then there's another group of two, but then there's another lonely third person. That third person can choose to join any group, and they will play as a normal round like the rest, but instead they will choose an order which they all three will roll, and then whoever has the highest will move on to the next round. So two people will get eliminated by that. So my thought process when creating this game, obviously I wanted it to be simple because that was the main game requirement. But I have a history of playing dice games. I mean, all the board games I usually play have dice. I grew up with, I'm going to blank on the name of it now, but I believe it's called not Bunko. You had chips and dice, and you roll the dice and kind of like, or it was left, right, and center, I believe. But so like there was something like that, and then I also wanted to make a game that was really head-to-head competition style because I always find those are the easiest to get into and get involved and really like kind of evoke that emotion of wanting to play it more and more and more. Okay, so for the playthrough the first time, the biggest component I made the most aware to everyone was that you have to move through the right of the circle. And I made that really, really prevalent. And then after that, I removed the circle aspect and made it more of a you match up with a person near you kind of game. Because when you play through the circle, the person that rolls last, the person who rolls last in the circle, usually ended up winning just because they kind of were last to play, and it was the odds were always with them the most. For the second time playthrough, I made it the matchup like I was talking about. And then I also made a rule to include any like odd number of groups because that was a big issue with the first time going through. We had a couple of people that were left out and they're odd and they were like, oh, what should I do? And so that was the biggest component for that. And then the final gameplay, really just that was the most evident of the more the merrier. You could play it with two people or four people, something like that. But it was more fun with more people because it had that more competitive style and really kind of amped people up to beat their whoever they're matched up with. Excuse me. And how this game is unique, going along with the simplicity design, nothing else is needed except for one pair of dice, and then any next X amount of people. So as long as there's at least two people, it could go up until infinity. And I think that's really unique because a lot of games obviously need more than just dice. And they usually have a limit on how many people can play with a limit. I mean, there's a limit with this game, but there's no maximum amount of people that could play. And so just a quick reflection on this whole process. Maybe thinking of ways to make it more simpler and like just making there be less rules, or maybe having less like equipment needed, even though there's only one thing really needed. And then I definitely want to share it. And then going off of that with the future of this game, I definitely want to post like the rules somewhere, like whether it be Reddit or just like share it with some more of my friends and just really kind of get it out there because it is a really fun game and my friends all really actually enjoy playing it. But of course, I would never want it to do something where I try to patent it or something like that, or make it into like an actual game you can buy at the store because you really don't need anything except for dice, and it's so simple that I don't know. Like I'd rather share it and then try and make any kind of profit out of it if I would even be able to. And then in conclusion, I actually really enjoyed this project. It was my favorite because I got to force my friends to play a game with me. And they actually all enjoyed it a lot too. So that was fun to see the schoolwork kind of mingling with my friends as well. But yep, so that's my game. Thanks.